I got a summer URG to study women objectifying women.
Paris to study Gothic architecture.
Low-income youth in Bolivia.
Economic opportunities for refugees in camps in Ethiopia.
Physical theater in Chicago.
Munich, Germany.
Log concave probability measures.
The development of the artistic and creative voice.
To study the music dual degree program at Northwestern University.
Summer work allowed me to go into what is probably going to be the most complicated rehearsal process I've ever been involved in this directly, with a full knowledge and preparation of the Tempest, dramaturgically, historically, and also with my own interpretation. I also have a huge confidence that I didn't have before putting together movement sequences and how to work with groups of people and putting together movement sequences. I think learning how to do your own research is a large part of learning how to have your own voice. Research doesn't just have to be reading and writing, although that will probably always be a huge component of it. Research can include being up on your feet, working with people, be that in interviews, be that in setting up little laboratories for yourself, creating exercises on the fly with those people to see what came out of it. And I never would have considered that research before, but it is. And I learned how to have faith in myself as an independent worker to go through that process and come out the other side with a product that I liked and that I could put my stamp on.
I scheduled interviews with a select, I think it was like 27 people in New York City, in Manhattan, and met with them in person and recorded our interviews. And then the end result was the theater aspect of it, which was a piece of documentary theater, which is a play that's based on interviews with real people. And so then for the rest of the summer, I spent writing that play.
I did a lot of reading on sort of interdisciplinary education with a focus on performing arts and just academics. Then I sort of interviewed students casually or in coffee shops or just on the way to classes about their experience and their access to just different resources on campus.
I wanted to combine my studies of dance and psychology, and so throughout the summer I was reading a variety of psych articles, particularly pertaining to different psychopathologies, and I ended up focusing more on a psychological disorder called Leschnehan, centers around self-mutilation, and I was interested in how that such a physical manifestation of a psychological disorder can be represented and shown through dance, and how that can connect with how an artist has shaped themselves within their choreographic process and with who they are as an artist.
Gothic cathedrals started to become permeated with death as a phenomenon in the 12th century. When I got there, I ended up stumbling onto all of these different other cathedrals in the area, and then traveling to England for a few days to take in some other examples of similar period architecture, and eventually turned that into a study of one of the tomb sculptures that is now in the Abbey Church of Saint-Denis. Before I went, I'd done a bunch of reading, obviously, and I developed some ideas about how I might use the space to understand death. Things like examining the stone, examining the air, the way the layout of the architecture might relate to how people circulated in the space. When I got there, I discovered that I was absolutely overwhelmed by the amount of data that I could sort of gather, and also by the amount of stuff that's still in Paris. So it sort of disrupted my best laid plans in a very productive and exciting way, because I ended up going around tallying these different ruins that are parts of Paris now, trying to figure out how they might originally have slotted into these church architecture spaces, and thinking about other ways that I could use these still existent ruins to think about what actually happened in the 12th century. The word research can be a buzzword for a chore or a task that you have to do, but research is fun, and I've really approached it as a way to relax, but also as a way to engage myself, and so I would absolutely recommend that people do it. It broadens your horizons in ways that other things can't.